Hello and welcome. My name is Dr. Calliope and I'm going to be performing your examination today. How are you doing today? Okay, well, I hope by the time you leave the office today, you feel even just the littlest bit better. So, I'll have to ask you to please forgive the screeching in the background. It seems we have a family of hawks that are just very excited to be here. So, you may hear them from time to time. I hope it doesn't bother you too much. So, I'd like to get some information down, if you don't mind. Let's see here. Excellent. Would you mind just telling me your name, please? Excellent. And your date of birth? Excellent. And is that your preferred name? And how would you like to be addressed? Okay. Wonderful. Okay. So, is there any particular reason why you wanted to see me today for an examination? Let me just jot that down. Wonderful. Okay, so now I'd like to ask you a few medical history questions, if you don't mind. Firstly, are you in any current pain or have any current illness at all? Wonderful. And any changes to the medical history that we have on file? Let's see. It's a little colorful in that you've had quite a few examinations, haven't you? Yeah, okay. Looks like there hasn't really been any conclusive findings, which is good. It means that you're all healthy. So, any other changes? Okay, wonderful. And what about your family history? Any changes there? Okay, excellent. And any changes to your allergies at all? No, very good. And what about the medication list? Let's see. Looks like we have a couple of things on file. Is there anything we need to change about that list at all? Wonderful. Okay. So, I'm just going to put that down for just a second. So, today we are going to be performing a reverse cranial nerve examination. So, this is extremely similar to a normal CNE. However, this is just going to be done backwards. So, instead of doing nerves 1 through 12, we're going to go through nerves 12 down to 1. The reason we're going to do this is we have found that lately there are a lot of people getting cranial nerve exams, and they pretty much know what the drill is and kind of seem to sort of fade out a little bit after the 3, 4, and 6 exam. So this is almost to keep you on your toes a little bit, and so that people are not just following down the list. We're doing something just a little different, and it'll have likely the same results, but it's a bit of a fun variation, if you will. Gets everything done, but it's a little different. Okay? That sound okay to you? Alright, so for this examination, I will need to be touching you at certain parts. Is that okay with you? Do I have your permission to do that? That's excellent. Wonderful. Let me just note that down, and then we will start with cranial nerve number 12, the hypoglossal nerve. So the hypoglossal nerve governs tongue movement. Here. So, firstly, if I could just have you stick out your tongue for me. Just stick out your tongue. And I'm going to get rather close here. Okay. Can you move it to the left side? Good. And then the right. Very good. Can you move your tongue up? Very good. Now, can you just open your mouth real wide? And say ah for me. Very good. Just give me just a second. Alright, I just have a little light here. Just say ah for me. Very good, very good, very good. Okay, that's great. You can go ahead and close your mouth. There we are. Very good. And now I'm going to test the strength in your tongue so you can keep your tongue in your mouth. And this time I want you to press it against one cheek. And I'm going to try to push your tongue back in. So just kind of one of those numbers. I'll try to push it back in. I want you to resist me. Okay? So go ahead and push your tongue out to the side. Okay? And don't let me push it in. Very good. And can we do that to the other side as well? Very good. I'm going to try to push it back in and don't let me. Very good. Okay, you can go ahead and relax your tongue. And I'm just going to note that down. And then next we're going to be testing cranial nerve number 11, and that's going to be our accessory nerve. So the accessory nerve governs neck and shoulder movement. So firstly, I'd like to just take a look at your trapezius muscle, at your SCM, your sternocleidomastoid muscle, okay? I'm just checking mostly for wasting, any sort of atrophy, any abnormalities, okay? So I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to palpate along the back of the trapezius muscle, which is along your neck and shoulders. It's a triangular shaped muscle. Okay. Very good. And I'm just going to look at your sternocleidomastoid, which runs down along your neck here. Have you had any issues with neck or shoulder movement at all? Okay. Been all good. That's good. Very good. So I'm going to have you raise your shoulders up for me. Okay, raise them up and then down. Great. And then up and then down. Very good. I'm going to try to push on your shoulders. I want you to raise them up against my resistance, okay? Go ahead and raise them up. Very good. And you can go ahead and put them back down. Now if you could just turn your head to the side. Good. And then the other side. Okay. Can you go down? Try to put your chin to your chest. And then can you go all the way back as far as you can? Very good. And can you tilt your head to one side? And then the other. Very good. So I want to test the strength in your neck. So I'm going to have you just turn your head against my hand. I'm just going to put it on the side of your face. And I want you to turn against my hand, okay? You do that for me? All right. Just go ahead and turn your head against my hand. Good. And then the other side here. Turn your head against my hand. Very good. That's great. So the accessory nerve looks great. And then we'll move on to number 10 and 9. So that's going to be the Glossopharyngeal and the vagus nerves. And these will govern your swallowing and your speech. Have you had any issues with swallowing at all? Okay. Good. And any changes to your voice at all? All right. And no difficulty there. Very good. And have you had a cough recently? Okay. Very good. All right, so I just want to go ahead and take another look in your mouth so that I can look at the soft palate of your mouth and the uvula, okay, as opposed to looking inside your mouth around your tongue and your throat, okay? So if you could just open your mouth for me, and say, ah. Okay, I'm just going to be looking at the soft palate, which is right behind the hard palate. The hard palate, you can feel, Very good. Okay. You can go ahead and close your mouth for me. All right. And then if you could just cough for me. Yep, just cough a couple times. Very good. And if you could swallow for me. Okay, and if you could try to do that one more time. I know it's a bit difficult. Your body doesn't want to do that multiple times in a row, but you could just try to do that. Very good. That's great. Okay. Now we want to test cranial nerve number 8, and this is your vestibulocochlear nerve. This is going to be your nerve governing your hearing and your balance. So we're going to do a few hearing tests, and we're also going to do a tuning fork test. We're going to do a little bit of a balance test. It's kind of a mixed bag here. Have you had any issues with your hearing or balance as of late? Okay, very good. So first I want to do a repeating test. I'm going to repeat 3 words in each ear, and I just want you to repeat them back for me, okay? All right. Kink. Black. Border. Okay, what were those words? Very good. Wooden. Clamp. Glass. And what were those words? Okay, let's try that one more time. Carpet. Iron. Blanket. What were those words? Very good. And the other side? And what were those words? Very good. Excellent. So now I want to do a little bit of a whisper test in that we're going to use numbers this time. So I want you to just repeat back whatever you hear, okay? 5, 7, 10, 3, 6, 1, 2, 12, 13, 45, 27, 0. Okay. Yeah, it's a touch soft, yep. But you did seem to hear those pretty good. That's great. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and do the Weber and Renee tests. So these tests involve the use of a tuning fork and a little tuning fork hammer. Just like that. It's a higher pitched noise. This is 512 hertz. It's a little higher pitched than normally we would use, as I find it's a little easier to hear rather than the 128 hertz fork. So that's what it sounds like. Okay. So for the first test, I'm going to put this in the middle of your forehead after I strike it. I want you to tell me if you hear it more on one side, the other, or right in the middle. Okay? Easy enough? All right. And where do you hear that? Okay. And where do you hear the sound? One more time. And where do you hear the sound? Very good. So this time I'm going to strike our fork, and then I'm going to put the base of the tuning fork right on the mastoid process here, right behind your ear. And I want you to tell me firstly when you hear it, and then when it stops. After the sound stops, I'm going to be bringing it in front of your ear. I want you to let me know if you hear it, and then when it stops, okay? All right. Behind the ear. It stops. And hear it, and it stops. Good. Hear that? Okay, it stops. Hear that? And it stops. Very good. Let's try that the other side. Hear that? Okay, and it stops. Hear that? And it stops. Good. Hear that? It stops. Hear that? And it stops. Very good. That was the Weber and Renee test. And now we're going to do a little balance test, okay? So I want you to stand up for me and put your arms all the way out to the side, okay? I'm going to have you close your eyes and march in place, okay? I'll be right here if you sway at all. Okay, just go ahead and march in place. One foot, then the other. Step, 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 step. Okay? Very good. All right, you can go ahead and stop, and you can come sit back down, all right? Looks really good. You kept your balance real well. Even for those who have great balance, that one can be a little tricky. It's not really an everyday that you would do that sort of movement, so it is a bit of an odd one. Okay, so now we are going to be testing cranial nerve number 7, and this is your facial nerve. It governs your expressions and your sense of taste as well. So firstly, have you had any changes to your sense of taste at all? Okay, very good. All right, so I'm just going to turn our assessment over here, okay? And then I'd just like to inspect your face, all right? Okay, all right, so I'm just gonna come in really close and I'll just be touching a little bit on your face. Just feeling around, making sure all the muscles have the correct mass to them. There we go. Very good. And your face has really good symmetry. There's no signs of any drooping in any part of your face. It all looks really good. Got a very fine face there, if I do say so myself. Okay, very good. So now I'm just going to ask you to do some different expression tests, okay? So if you could firstly raise your eyebrows real high for me. Good. And can you close your eyes real tight? Okay. I'm going to try to open them. I want you to resist me. Keep them closed tight. Very good. Okay. And can you puff out your cheeks for me? Very good. And can you smile real big for me? Very good. That's great. Okay, let me see here. I forgot one. Can you purse your lips for me? Excellent. Okay. This is a real easy one. Alrighty, so now we're going to be moving on to the trigeminal nerve, and this is cranial nerve number 5, and this governs your facial sensation and movement as well. So firstly, I'm going to have you close your eyes, and I'm just going to try to touch different parts of your face along all 3 of the trigeminal branches, and I just want you to let me know that you feel my touch. Okay, that's all you gotta do. So close your eyes. Good. 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 Excellent. Perfect. Wonderful. Very good. Brilliant. That is is wonderful. You can go ahead and open your eyes. And now I'd like to do one of my favorite tests, which is the soft sharp test. So in the soft sharp test, we're going to be doing that same sensation testing, but this time we're going to use two different objects here. We have a soft little cotton bud here, and we have the point of a toothpick. I'm just going to poke those on the side of your jaw so you can feel what they feel like, okay? So the sharp is not actually sharp. It's not going to hurt. It's not going to break the skin, but you'll be able to feel the point of it, okay? So I'm just going to, if you feel the sharp there, okay? And then we have the soft with the cotton bud. Okay, very good. So I'm going to have you close your eyes again, and then we're going to do that same test, except this time I want you to tell me if you feel the soft or the sharp, okay? That's it. Right. Sharp. Soft. Soft. Sharp. Soft. Sharp. Sharp. Soft. Soft. Sharp. Soft. Very good. You can go ahead and open your eyes for me and just relax. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at your temporalis and your masseter muscles here. So I'm just going to palpate around these muscles, okay? Right around the temporalis here. And then the masseter muscle. Okay, so I'm going to hold the masseter muscle here, and I want you to clench your teeth for me, okay? Very good, and unclench. Unclench. And unclench. Okay. Can you open your mouth and close it? Open and close. Very good. I'm going to do those same tests, but on your temporalis muscle here. I just want to feel around in that. You could clench your jaw for me. Okay, and unclench. Clench. And unclench, good. And if you could open your jaw and close, and open and close. Very good, that's excellent. So now we're going to do a type of reflex testing here. I've got my little rubber mallet here, and we're going to do the jaw jerk reflex, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my thumb right on your chin below your mouth. I'm going to have you open your jaw just slightly, and then I'm just going to tap on my thumb. Tap, 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 tap. Just like that, okay? So I'm just going to put my finger on your chin here, and if you could please just open your mouth a little bit, just let your jaw relax. Okay, then I'm just going to tap, tap, tap. Okay, very good. You can go ahead and close your mouth and relax. Jaw jerk reflex kind of suggests that there should be a reflex, but really there shouldn't be much going on at all. Okay, let me just note that down. And then we'll get into a pretty big group. So next on our list is cranial nerves 3, 4, and 6. We have the oculomotor, the trochlear, and the abducens nerves. So these all govern eye movement, and there are tons of tests we're going to do with this one, okay? So firstly, I just want to take a look at your eyes, okay? I'm going to get real close. Try to shimmy up on my seat here. And then I'm just going to take a look at your eyes. So I'll get real close here and just look at the eye, looking for any signs of any drooping or any swelling, redness, irritation. Have you noticed any issues with your eyes or even your eyesight? Okay, no double vision, no delay in how you look at things, okay? Very good. That's very good. So now let's go ahead and do our different tests here. So first we're going to do the follow the light test rather. And I have a little pen light here. I have the little light here. What I want you to do is just keep your head still and only follow the light using your eyes without moving your head, okay? Alright, so I'm going to sit back so I have a wider area to work with. I want you to just focus on this light and I want you to follow it, okay? Just follow the light as best as you can, even if it goes out of the bounds of your vision. Just follow the movement as best as you can. Follow the light. Follow the light. Very good. Let's go up and down and to the side, to the side. Up, down, to the side, okay? Diagonally up, diagonally down, diagonally down, diagonally up, diagonally up, diagonally down, diagonally down, diagonally up. Very good. Now we're going to do an accommodation reflex test. I want you to keep focusing on this light and keep watching it using only your eyes without moving your head. And we're just going to come in and out and in and out and in and out. Okay, and real quick we're going to do the other side here, so keep following this light as we go in and out and in and out and in and out. Very good. So we're going to do a few more tests, okay? So I'd like to do the swinging light test real quick. I just want you to look straight ahead at me, okay? And I'm just going to bring the light and shine it in one eye and then the other and then one eye and the other. And I'm just looking for defects in the way that your eyes respond to the light going back and forth. That's all. Just swinging the light back and forth. Very good. And now here's one of my favorites, the direct consensual response test, in which we assess how your pupils react to the light and how your eyes work together. I'm going to be putting my hand up between your eyes here, and I'm going to bring my light in on one side, and the side that I bring this light into, this eye right here, should react to the light. And then I will look at your other eye, and when I bring this light in, your other eye should react in the same way at the same time as the one that I'm shining the light into. So when I shine the light into one eye and it responds, that would be a direct response. And if I shine the light into that eye and your other eye responds at the same time, that's a consensual response, okay? So just keep looking straight ahead. And I'm just going to bring the light in. Look for the direct response. Very good. And then the consensual response. Very good. Direct response. Very good. Consensual. Very good. I apologize for the bit of shakiness. I have a bit of a tremor. Not much I can do to keep my hands still, unfortunately. But that's okay. So, just going to go ahead and write some things down here. So, in addition to testing cranial nerves 3, 4, and 6, I've also been testing your optic nerve at the same time. And your optic nerve governs your vision. So with your optic nerve, the only thing that I'm not testing for is your visual acuity, in which I would use a Snellen chart, which you may have seen those with all the different letters and different sizes, but we can skip that part for today. Not super important, especially since it looks like you haven't had any issues with visual acuity before. So if there haven't been any changes in your eyesight, no, well then yeah, that wouldn't be a super big deal. So we've done a lot of tests for both of those, and we're going to do some more of those. So firstly, I'd like to do a corneal light test. So this is to test the alignment of your eyes. I'm just going to be coming a little farther back, and I'm going to be shining the light just in the middle of your eyes. And I'm just going to look at how the light reflects back from this light into your eyes so that I can make sure that they are in alignment. Okay? So we're just going to stay here for a moment, and I'm just going to watch your eyes. Okay? Just make sure that they stay in alignment. Very good. Okay. So now I'd like to do a test for heterotropia, and I'm just going to be putting my hand over one eye and then the other, and I just want to watch what your eye does if it's not being covered. Okay? So I'm just going to put my hand over one eye, and I just want to watch the other eye, just to make sure that it doesn't do anything funny when one eye is covered. It's kind of interesting, the different things that your body does when something's wrong, right? Whether it's move of its own accord when one eye's being covered, or slightly being out of alignment, all different things. So I'm going to test the other side here. Just keep looking straight ahead while I watch your eye to make sure it's not getting up to any shenanigans. Very good. Okay, that's very great. No heterotropia in you. So let me just jot that down real quick. And then all of our tests for cranial nerves 3, 4, and 6 are all finished. And then we'll be moving on to a couple that I didn't get to with cranial nerve number 2, the optic nerve. Okay, very good. So now I want to do a little finger wiggle test. I kind of want to test your visual inattention. So I'm going to have you look straight ahead, look into my eyes, and I'm going to have my fingers up, and I'm going to be wiggling them in different parts of your visual field, okay? I just want you to tell me which side you see wiggle, okay? Left or right, okay? Just keep looking straight ahead. Very good. 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 Yes. Good. Very good. Yes. Excellent. That's great. So now I want to test your peripheral fields, in which I'm just going to be covering one eye and you'll be covering the same eye. And then I'll just be bringing my fingers into your field, and I want you to let me know when you see them come into your field of vision, okay? So if you want to go ahead and cover up this eye, and I'll cover up the same, okay? I just want you to let me know when you see my fingers come into view. Good? Good? Very good. Okay, and if you could just cover the other side here, this eye. All right. Good. 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 Very good. So now I'm going to do a blind spot test, and I'm just going to be using our pen here. So we're going to do a test that's very similar to the one we just did, in which I'll cover one side, you'll cover the same side, and then I'm just going to be bringing the pen through your vision, and we're going to be testing for your blind spot. So I want you to tell me when the pen appears and then when it disappears, okay? All right, so if you could just cover that side, and I'll cover the same. Just tell me when it appears and when it disappears. Good. Tell me when it appears and when it disappears. Just tell me when it appears and when it disappears. Very good. Okay, now if you could just cover the other side here, and I'll cover the same, and just tell me when the pen appears and disappears. Okay, very good. Right, just tell me when it appears and when it disappears. Very good. Tell me when it appears and when it disappears. Okay. Very good. That's excellent. Let me just jot that down real quick. All right, and we are almost finished here. So now I'd like to do a test called a fundoscopy. And a fundoscopy uses an ophthalmoscope, in which I use this tool to look in the back of your eye and take a look at your optic nerve, take a look at the veins, take a look at everything that's going on back there, okay? So I'm going to be putting my hand on top of your head just to stabilize myself and make sure that I don't run into you. And I'll be putting the ophthalmoscope to my eye, and I'll be coming in at an angle and looking around in your eye. I'm just going to put my hand on top of your head here, and then I'm just going to be back here. I'm going to search around for the red light reflex. In the eye, okay, and then when I found it, I'm just going to be coming forward very close and then having a look at the back of your eye and making sure that the optic okay, then I'm just going to move out and take that away. And we're going to be doing the same on the other side here, so just going to be taking a look for that red light reflex. Okay, and then coming in very close so that I can see the back of your eye. So I'm just going to back away. And I'll turn that off. Alright, that looked excellent. The back of your eye looks really healthy. I don't see anything to be concerned of. So now, lastly, we finally get to the big one, cranial nerve 1, the olfactory nerve, which governs your sense of smell. So I'll be just a second. And I've got a few vials. There we go. Some different smells. And I'm going to have you test and just tell me what they smell like, okay? So first, I'm going to have you cover one side of your nose. And just going to open that up. I want you to take a smell of this. Okay, what's that smell like? Okay, it smells like lemon. Very good. And if you could just switch over to the other side. And take a little smell of this. What's that smell like to you? Okay, very good. It smells like cinnamon. And now if you would just keep your nose uncovered. I'm gonna do one last smell. Alright, and tell me what this smells like. Very good. Yeah, you can tell that right away. It smells like garlic. One of my absolute favorite smells in the entire world. So, that about wraps us up. That is your entire reverse cranial nerve examination. How are you feeling? Okay, feel like you did pretty good? I hope that you do, because you did excellently. So I'm just going to write my final few notes here. Very good. And then I'm just going to go ahead and sign off on this if you don't have any other questions for me. Yeah, the whole test functions just like a regular cranial nerve exam, except it's just in a different order. That's the only thing. Yeah, I found that a lot of people really snooze off in the later parts of a cranial nerve exam, so we're getting those parts out of the way immediately and getting into the real meaty ones later on. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Very good. And put that down. And you, my friend, are all ready to go. You have an absolutely beautiful bill of health. I don't have any concerns for you whatsoever. Okay? Is there anything else I can do for you? Okay. Well, I would like to thank you for coming into my office for this reverse cranial nerve exam. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you have a whale of a day and a good rest of your night. Thank you so much. Goodbye now.